Hello, world. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda, Stephen Skoda the third, and
Got it,
my
got it.
office is not necessarily on the beach we're looking at behind me, but I'm literally 3 blocks away from Waikiki Beach in Hawaii at the moment. And I love that because I have different creativity places I can do studio, I can do talks, I can just share my experiences. But today, across the whole other side of the world, we're going to interview an actor, we're going to interview a PE teacher, we're going to introduce just a great guy. So please help me give a warm welcome to Steve Crawshaw. How you doing, Steve?
Hi there. Hi there, Joseph. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh yeah, what's
Um,
interesting, it's like 7 a.m. for me and 5 p.m. for you. I don't even know if it's the same day or not. And it's
yes,
it's pretty
it's
exciting
the same
because we
day.
were
Yeah.
trying. Hey, I was almost late because I was doing my workout because I know we agreed on time in Las Vegas time, and I'm 2 hours difference from that.
Yeah, you're
Right,
Pacific time. We are Greenwich Mean Time.
right. Well,
So
I'm
like
not
London
Pacific
time.
time.
Yeah,
I'm
London
I'm
time.
Hawaii time this week.
Yeah.
And thanks to daylight savings, or this would have even been earlier for me. So, do you celebrate daylight? Do you celebrate daylight savings in England?
Uh, yeah, we don't do Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Uh,
do you? Well, obviously, but do you change your time zones like we do here in the States?
oh no, yeah, just the clocks went back last weekend. They went back an hour. So it's
Right,
lighter in the
right.
morning, darker on an evening, and then so what we say is they fall back, and
Sure.
then they spring
Spring,
forward.
spring.
So in 6 months' time, they'll go forward an hour.
I know we
Um,
celebrate the same thing, but not every state does that in the United States. Most do, but there's a couple that don't change, like Alaska and
oh,
Hawaii, for instance. Yeah.
but you have quite a
Oh,
few time zones, don't you?
yes, literally 4 time zones in the U.S., I believe.
Yeah,
There's quite a
yeah,
few. And we just think the East Coast, the Pacific Coast, but we got Hawaii, we got the Mountain Time, Central Time.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
confusing. And I know some countries, they're like 30-minute difference between the time zones, and that's really crazy, really crazy. So
Yeah,
tell us a
yeah.
little bit about your background. You said you were in physical education.
Yes, I trained in Birmingham in England at a teacher training college.
Okay.
And strangely, when I qualified, there weren't a lot of PE jobs going. So I actually taught children in care for 6 years, which was interesting. So I worked with we were 9 to 16 and non-school offenders, burglars, arsonists, muggers.
You helped train them? Did you
Yeah,
help train?
so that was interesting. And then I did a year in what they call a pre-suspension unit. So we were trying to stop these pupils being actually fully suspended from school and well
Oh,
actually fully what's the word thrown out basically
thrown out, sure.
expelled from school.
Expelled,
So they were
expelled.
suspended, and we tried to work them back into the school by working with them. And then 5 years, then I actually started teaching PE. So I did 5 years at a comprehensive school in Birmingham, um, and then got a job at a grammar school in Birmingham. So grammar
Yeah.
school is where you take entrance tests to get in.
Oh,
So each year would have about 120 pupils come in. And I was there about 23 years before I stopped teaching. And then I thought, well, what can I do? So one
now
of the
what?
things I did was I took notes for students with disabilities at Staffordshire University.
Okay.
So they might be hearing impaired, visually impaired, and that was really really rewarding, and we had some good times with the students there. And then I also got into. I've always done in the past. I've done amateur dramatics, so on stage doing various sort of stuff. And then left that when I had a family, and then got into background work on TV and films. A friend of mine at the gym that I attend, he does it a lot. And the first one I did was Ready Player One in Birmingham, Birmingham in England, and that was directed by Steven Spielberg. And that was a really good experience seeing how a major feature film was made. And then other stuff followed, really. Lots and lots of British TV, Poldark, Peaky Blinders, things like that. And then I saw an advert somewhere about that they wanted actors on it was like a student thing. So I then applied for that, and I remember we filmed it, and it was freezing cold in a bank, and I just used bank in Birmingham, and it was really cold. And then I got used to learning lines and having a camera stuffed in my face. One of the girls that there were three of us in it, really. I was an MP and going for election to Prime Minister, and the one girl in it, she's a very, very successful model now. She does a lot of stuff. She's Polish. And then I did a student film for someone at the university that I was at when I was doing the note taking, because to me the students are the filmmakers of tomorrow. So if I can help them with I behave myself. I basically do as I'm told, but I can sort of
you must be married.
Yeah, I can use my experience in life to help them. And the one guy, a chap called Sam Herdman, he got a first class honours degree, and he did really well with the little film I was in, and that was good fun to do. That was really good. And then I got into, so apart from the background work and things like this, I've done a thing called Briefs, where I play a solicitor, and we've done 2 episodes of that. That's sort of gone out on Facebook.
Okay.
We're hoping to do another episode, but it's just expensive to do, and the lady that wrote it and directed it, it's just so costly to get editing, filming. We got paid not much to do it, but it was so much fun.
Sure.
I'd have done it for free. It was good. So, and then got into writing. If I read a book, when I read a book, I think, that'll make a good film. So I'd contact the author, and I've done quite a few. The difficulty is, even though I've entered a lot of these into international film festivals and blown my own trumpet, I've done really well. Production companies don't take them up, and getting in touch with a production company to make a film or make a TV series is extremely difficult. And I know these would be successful given the right treatment by directors, the right cast. But I'm still hoping.
What are these so what are the challenges besides cost and maybe having to know someone? Well, why is TV different than movies?
In TV, generally, it's interesting that there's a new one out, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's 3.5 hours long. A new film come out, and it's like, crikey! and there's not a break in it. There's not like a toilet break or anything. So
Oh,
3.5
really?
hours. Now, normally films are about an hour 30, an hour 45.
Sure.
So the scripts, as they are from best-selling books, they tend to be fit better into TV as a series.
You can break it up. Sure.
Yeah, there's a cracking one called 15 Times a Killer by an author called Alan McDermott. And that is really good. And my task was to sort of not make it as gory as the book. Because it is, as you can see by the title, it is quite gory.
Sure.
Task really was to sort of not have blood flying about all over the place, and
It happens. It happens.
yeah, so a few little sort of voiceovers and camera pulling away to see the guy doing what he was doing. And so yeah, they would lend themselves more to a series.
Sure. That's pretty interesting. You said that. You said, I mean, your first major film was like with Steven Spielberg as a director. Were you intimidated by the other actors or him?
No, we didn't really see that much of the other actors.
Okay.
It's very much background. So basically, we just go where the assistant director tells us to go, and it might mean that you walk that way on action, you walk that way, and then you sort of you come back on, and then we just do a retake, a take after take, a different one, and then so one doesn't really see that much of the actors. I've done a couple of things where I have got talking to actors. Somebody called Christopher Timothy that was in All Creatures Great and Small in England quite a few years ago. He's a nice chap. But to be honest, the actors are busy. They're busy getting into character. They're busy getting into learning their lines and making sure that everything's right. And actors, Aidan Turner and Poldark, he'd always say good morning, everybody, and what have you. But yeah, they are busy. Quite a few of my friends have had pictures. They do selfies with people, but yeah. But so yeah. I mean, I try to learn from actors that I see on the TV. I try to help that, and as an actor, I possess quite a few regional accents from England and quite a few international accents. And so I just sort of walk around the house and I might be just a different person one day, and well, not for long. It drives my wife crackers. But yeah, just mess about and play about with it, and I think that helps.
What are some let's say I've always found problem like memorizing lines. What are some tips that you have to memorize your lines?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's repetition basically. I read something about an actor called Adrian Edmondson that was in something called The Young Ones. He's married to Jennifer Saunders, who you may know in America. And he said that he reads it about 100 times. He'll read the script about 100 times. And actually, when he's on set and when he's working with the people, he can actually spend time to have a chat with people and mess about, because he knows the lines. They're just in here
right there.
And I mean, that's a hard thing, because the other thing is that you take your cue off the previous actor's end of speech, so that's when you come in. And I always think that probably the hardest thing to do is what to do with your hands. So if you've got something like a pen in your hand or a drink or something like that, it helps. And in the olden days, people used to smoke in films, didn't they?
Right. Or have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge, learning lines. And if I'm doing a script, I try to cut out a fair bit of the dialogue,
Okay.
which you have to do because basically you can see things. So as a filmmaker or as a scriptwriter, I show rather than tell. So I don't want massive speeches, which are very, very long speeches, which are like boring, basically.
They can be.
You don't want to hear somebody wittering on. So it's like cutting those down a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I've done one. There's a production company getting involved with one called Takers, which is a book by Rob Enright, and he's very interested in making that into a film. He's just looking for finance, but he likes a story, he likes a script, and yeah, fingers crossed we're going to start shooting that in May next year. One of the scenes is at the London Marathon, so he's going to use the London Marathon as the backdrop to this scene.
Okay.
My internet connection is unstable. Rather like me.
I get that. I had to restart. I actually had to restart my internet twice before we got online this morning. It's one of those days. Now transitioning from an actor to writing screenplays was that hard, or what got you interested in writing screenplays?
There are various sort of tools that you can use. I use one called Celtex, which I think is based in America actually, and that
Yeah,
helps you with like action, dialogue, character, and there's lots and lots of things one can use for that to help you do it.
sure,
And then it's a question of looking at the book, describing where something is for the director to make sure that he's got the right place. So it
sure.
might say the scene heading could say int house day, which means internal
Okay,
house and daytime, or it might be then evening or and then the question then is the way I write is that you put in capital letters the props that needed to be used for the props department. So the
okay,
first time something is used, you put it in capital letters, and then so basically you know
sure.
that you need those props. And then it's a question of what I do is I then contact the author every quarter of the script. I'll just say, what do you think of this? Are you happy with it? And I
Sure.
might suggest a few changes, and then keep rereading it. Make sure
Yeah,
that by the time it actually goes off to a film competition, that it's as good as I can make it. Um,
sure.
so yeah, just really sort of popping through the book and putting the ages of the characters
Yeah,
and hopefully getting things that when somebody reads it, they see it. And I'm
sure.
doing a work on something called a magic painting, and the author is just like blown away with what I'm doing, and so I've got my trumpet out again. Uh, she's blown away with what I'm doing because that is how she sees it.
Okay,
Having being the author, this is how she sees it, as if it was on screen.
sure.
So I think I'm on the right lines, but
I think so. Who do you well collaborate with? Obviously your wife, but do you have a team that you throw ideas back and forth with?
I just no. I mean, the only collaboration I do with my wife is putting up with my accent. She's not a
That's hard. I hope you pay her well. Hope you pay her
writer.
well.
Yeah, I collaborated with a chap, and we did a thing called Buried Alive, which was
Yeah.
a film set in. It was actually a true story from the late 18th century in England, where it was a story I read, and it was in the Midlands of Birmingham, and this chap goes for a job with the apothecary, which is the old name for a chemist, and he gets a job as a groom, but he then he and the apothecary's daughter become close, but the apothecary doesn't like the fact that she is courting, as we say, going out with, courting,
They're kind of being
with,
played.
yes, with a lowly groom. And then mysteriously this chap dies, the groom dies.
Ooh.
And it just thought that it's natural causes, it was late 18th century. But one of the horses that when he was buried, one of the horses that he looked after kept going to the grave and pawing at the grave.
Mhm.
So after 6 months, they dug the coffin up. I can't think of they reinterred, as it were. But anyway, they exhumed. That's the word. Exhumed.
Okay. Okay.
And found that his there were scratch marks on the inside of the coffin, and he was face down.
Ooh, so like he was buried alive, maybe. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the title of the script. And what it was thought was that somebody had given him a powerful narcotic to give the appearance of death. And so the fickle finger pointed at the apothecary, who was never actually tried. My chap who did some writing with me, he said he wanted him hanged, he said, but I said no. I said we just leave it. But then the daughter, the apothecary's daughter, she slips hemlock into this chap's drink.
By accident, of course.
She's put that into his drink.
Yeah.
And that actually sort of kills him because they can't be together. They can't be together. So she's the person that's actually murdered the lover, because it was a sort of, if nobody else can. If I can't have him, nobody else can.
Nobody else can. And you didn't want to hang her? You didn't want to hang her?
So and then she actually kills herself. So of course the apothecary is distraught because she actually said, "I didn't get the potion right in the first one, but I have now, and in like an hour I'll be dead." And they so it sort of ends with, like, they couldn't be together. They couldn't be together in life, and they're not actually together or they are together in death. But yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, that was like based on a true story.
It sounds like you do a lot of things that have to do with murders or death. Is that your common theme, or you like to do a lot of things that have to do with somebody dying or murder? My wife loves detective shows and murder shows. That's all she watches.
Yeah, they're not all like that. Yeah, I'm not a horror fan.
Okay.
I'm not into horror or sci-fi. I'm into more of the action things, but certainly, I mean, Alan McDermott's written quite a few books. There's a very good one called Run and Hide, which finishes really well for the sequel. And it's just a question of, as I say, production companies come and get me. And I'm doing some work for a chap in New York called Zach DePay on something called The Italians. You can just see behind me there's a big poster.
I do.
And that's The Italians. And that's put on hold for a while. But I'm doing some writing for him, and I play a retired MI6 agent trying to stop my son from killing people.
Good advice.
And then you'll like this one. I'm the American president in Jane Anderson in a film next year called The World Mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my own bodyguard. The budget for that is £40 million.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an action adventure fantasy. There's a very, very talented girl
Yeah.
of Thai, or Thai girl,
Okay.
called Natty
Natty.
Matika Westgate, and she's written it, and we've got it all cast. So yeah, the American president, Jane Anderson.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I will be working on I think I might be a southern one, you know.
Now,
We're working on.
we're going into it how we get a British actor playing an American president. It's like
Yes,
the
the other
James
one I can do.
Bond. Yeah, like the British James Bond. They try to have a black person play an American. Like, no, James Bond's
Yeah.
a English guy. He's got to be English. They try to
Well,
mix it up.
the filming of
Yeah.
that will be Thailand, Vietnam, London, and Bournemouth. Bournemouth's in England as well.
Okay.
And I'll probably get Bournemouth.
Everywhere but America.
But apparently in part 2 I get kidnapped in the Vietnam jungle if we get that far. But
Okay.
we'll see.
Somebody has to be kidnapped. Somebody has to go there.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So I'm looking forward to that. But all of these things take time.
Yeah, I
And
see that. I
COVID
did
didn't help. COVID didn't help, and the world economic situation isn't helping either.
No, it's a lot of uncertainty out there.
Yeah.
Sadly, a lot of uncertainty. That's true. So, what are these film festivals like? You said you've been to a couple or participated.
Yeah, I've not actually been. It's more entering scripts into the competitions.
Okay.
And then in the end, I mean, they cost to enter. Some don't cost that much. Some cost a fair bit. And in the end, I've just stopped doing it. I've stopped entering because my hope was that production companies would pick it up. And I probably get 2 emails a week saying, we would like you to, we've read about and heard about 15 Times a Killer, and we'd like to enter it into our film festival. Here's a discount off the cost.
Sure.
But I say I'm politely declined because I say, well, it's costing a lot of money and I'm not getting anywhere.
Not getting anything out of it. That's life.
Yeah. I mean, all I need is a break.
Yeah. Well, you took a break, almost 30 years of teaching. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, when I say a break, I mean a break into the movie industry. That's what I'm looking for. But yeah, I mean, I've got working with a girl called Denny Ann Gambriola she lives in North Carolina. And she's done quite a few horror films, so I've helped her with the scripts. And I'm now looking at one called Meaner Girls, where she wants me to play the school principal. It's a reunion. It's all about a reunion, and she wants me to play the school principal. So yeah, that could be good. That could be March next year, hopefully.
It could be. I have an uncle who lives in North Carolina. I get out that way quite a bit. Yeah. Other side of the country for me, other side of the world for you. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So what other projects you want? Obviously you want to break into the big time, but what other projects do you have in the works coming up?
Have any what? Sorry.
What other kind of projects do you have or you want to do that you haven't started yet?
Yeah, I'm doing one. I need to do one when if the one that's filming next year, starting at the London Marathon. I need to do the next 2 books in that series if the producer and director wants me to do that. I'm working on this one for Denny Ann, and then I'm working on one called A Magic Painting. So it keeps me busy. But generally what I do is get up and go to the gym in the morning and then come back and do work in the afternoon up to about a certain time. Then I'm not going to the gym tomorrow, so I've got a full day's working really. Teach
Yeah,
me
I'll be
out of this.
on.
I enjoy
I
doing
get
it.
you.
I really enjoy doing it, and if I get good feedback from the authors, it's then, as I say, just a question of getting production companies. Because I haven't got a literary agent to push for me.
Oh,
Because I
gotcha.
couldn't send a script to a production company, they wouldn't even look at it.
That's hard.
It's what they call an unsolicited script.
Sure, sure. Do you have any of your family members involved in acting or screenplays or anything?
Do I have any what? Sorry.
Any of your family members interested
Oh,
in doing what you do?
yeah. No, they don't. If I could have got buried alive, this one. I actually brought it forward to the early Victorian times because of basically the where we would film it. It's very
Sure,
difficult to
sure.
do something in 1780, but just moved it forward 100 years. I was going to get my grandchildren in that as children in the background children
Yeah,
in the scenes, but so no, nobody else does it. No, I've got no history of it. I've got no formal training.
wow,
I just enjoy trying to get acting parts and things, and
sure.
it's good for them. I mean, when I do the background stuff,
Yeah,
I meet a lot of nice people, a
sure.
lot of really nice people, and I get chatting to them. And if I see myself on TV, great. If not, it doesn't bother me.
That's a good way. Me too. I've done a lot of auditions. I want to be able to be more active, but no one else in my family's interested. I do a lot of public speaking. No one in my family's interested. It
Yeah,
doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, does it?
yeah.
We'll have to find that passion in our lives. So how do people find you? How do people find you and if they want some more information or maybe offer
Uh,
you some good tips there?
a lot of it comes from Facebook.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't look much different to this on Facebook. But yeah, I mean, I'm findable on Facebook, and I think that's where one shares ideas with.
sure.
Um, you share ideas with people, and you get to work with people. And I mean, I think that's the way now. I mean, I'm on IMDb as Steve Crawshaw the third, which is
The
quite
third.
strange.
I'm the
I don't know.
third also. I'm the
Um,
third also, yeah.
yeah, so IMDb is a good way, but it's very, very difficult to update stuff on there. It really is tricky to because it's just I won't bore you with it, but it is very difficult. I need to look at it again actually, but it is difficult. Um,
That's a good
so
question.
yeah,
I have IMD credit, but it was something I did like 15 years ago in Santa Monica. A really small part. And I've done a couple things since, and it's never been updated. Do we have to do that ourselves? Is that how it works?
well, I'll get you in. I'll get you in one of my films if I can.
I would love it. I would love it. That'd be so cool. I love
Yeah,
acting and
oh,
portraying different
yeah, yeah,
characters.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
love it.
I have suggested people to this chap Zach in New York.
Yeah,
He's actually does a lot of real estate stuff, but it's a thing called Italians. It's all over it's supposed to be all over the world. I mean, I don't know if that has changed, but he's got
sure.
a lot of scary looking men, beautiful
That's
women,
me. That's
and,
me.
and you could be Italian.
I can be Italian.
Yeah,
I'm a Croatian right now. This is
yeah,
Slovakia.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Just do this all the time. Yeah.
I have cousins who are Italian, and yeah, we're definitely a different breed. They're a different
Yeah,
breed.
it's good. Yeah, we can. We'll keep in touch on that one, definitely.
Absolutely.
Because
Sounds good.
I've got films that are set in America. I've got scripts rather that are set in America, and scripts that are set in England. So yeah, as I say, I know a couple of people in the film industry in America as well. So, but one chap he was interested in 15 times a killer, but he wanted to cut it by half, and that just wouldn't work. You couldn't cut this down by half.
Nope.
Because it then that would be to make a film, and it lends itself to a series. So it was just like a no-no, basically.
Got you. And I'm sure you get that a little bit too. You write something and people want to change it, or you don't get much of that.
Oh yeah. A script. If I write a script, the author might want to make a few changes, but a script is never final until it hits a screen. There may be that a director may say, "We don't need that. We don't need that scene," and he might change a little bit the dialogue, and that's his prerogative, really. It may be that sometimes when you see on the credits and everything, original screenplay by so, or you might just say screenplay by.
I got you.
Yeah, I mean, people you can change things. Yeah, it's got to work on screen.
Sure.
I'm not a film director, so
yes,
I look at it and think, yes, I can see it. Yeah.
We never know what the future holds. I never thought I would enjoy speaking in public, for instance, and I look for every opportunity to get up on stage. It's crazy. Never thought I would do that in my life. All that.
Yeah, you'd be good because you are confident, and also you are used to being in front of a camera.
It wasn't always that way.
Yeah,
it wasn't right. Life is a work in progress, and we have to make the best that we have in front of us. So that's good. So people can find you on Facebook, Steve Crawshaw, correct?
Yeah, they find me on Facebook, Crawshaw. Yeah. I'm dressed in I've got some specs similar to these, and I'm looking this way, and I've got a white shirt on, and that was from Briefs, with my solicitor thing. Yes.
I try not to wear these so much. I get the glare from the camera and the lighting, but I really can't see much.
These are just reading glasses, but
same here.
Sitting a reasonable distance back, so I can and I can already see how handsome you are, Joseph. So
take your glasses off, keep them off. All right. I have good days and some not so good days, but I enjoy my life so much, and I've been doing a lot of interviews. Obviously, part of the Social Media Shows Network, and we do a lot of other things in the background, and it's fun. The TV, film, podcast industry, even though they're all a little bit different, it's fun because you interact, you network with different people from all walks of life around the world, and get some help or tidbits to help you become even more successful. It is fun.
Yeah,
but it isn't dog eat world. Sometimes people got their best intentions, or whatever, help you feel good. Others just like to watch you fall.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's all over the world. I mean, there's people in America that I know. There's people in the Far East, and it's just good. It's fun. My other passion is soccer, which
really.
I will not say football because you'll be thinking it's American football, but soccer. And I'm a big Manchester City fan. Yeah, and they're doing very well at the moment. I go out and see them when I can get a ticket.
Do you ever watch American football?
I have watched some of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's quite interesting. I've not watched a huge amount.
Sure.
But I do find it quite interesting. My wife wouldn't like it. She doesn't like it.
Most of my family, we don't like soccer. It's a hard sport. There's a lot of running and whatever to be strong athletes.
Yeah, you're more ice hockey and gridiron.
Right. Exactly. And
of course, baseball.
My first time to Canada. Well, not my first
baseball
time,
and basketball, of course, are massive, aren't they, in America?
Yeah.
I I always look at the results when I'm at the gym and I'm on the exercise bike. There's a thing called Sky Sports, and we get all the sports news come through. So I always look at results. Because Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of him.
Well,
My son is really.
He bought into a championship team called Birmingham City.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he bought into that, and as soon as he got there, they sacked the manager, and you've heard of Wayne Rooney?
Yeah.
Coaching and managing in America. He's now the manager.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago, I'm in the Philippines, and the guy's like, over there's Michael Jordan's house, and over there's LeBron James and Kobe. They had basketball, I don't know, courts or sessions for the local children out there to help them out once a year, summer camps.
Yeah.
And they had homes. Like, wow, really? That's pretty cool. So I've been to England, but I spent about 12 years in Asia, living in Asia, different places.
Yeah. And it's very sad that one of the was it Kobe Bryant, the one that died in the plane crash?
Yeah.
That was so sad.
It was so sad. Probably I live between Los Angeles and San Fran, about 3.5 hours either way, and he lived in the LA area.
Yeah.
So a little bit south of me. But it is sad, but we all got to go sometime. I live by the Incredible Hulk. I don't know if you know Lou Ferrigno, the big green guy bodybuilder, but Lou Ferrigno lives up near me, the Incredible Hulk. Yeah. That's pretty sweet. All right. Well, I want to thank you for sharing your story from being pretty much a gym rat to trying.
Well, thank you so much for thank you so much for inviting me. I've really enjoyed the chat, and
these are
as
fun.
I say, production companies, come out and get me. I'm waiting.
All right, remember that production company, Steve Crawshaw. You can find him on Facebook. Heck, you probably find him everywhere in England because
but you've got my email address as well, so you can be my agent.
Absolutely. Hey, we can make this work out as a good team.
Be my agent and pick up a fee.
Hey, that works out too. We can do all that. Fantastic.
We'll both be very rich.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be real nice. So I could buy a house out on the beach.
Yeah. I'll come and live out there with you.
That sounds good. And then we'll go back and forth. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, world, we heard it here. We heard Steve. He has a long history of doing some wonderful things, starting with the kids in the gym and do a little background work, to writing screenplays, to acting, to probably fishing too. He likes soccer. I don't know where that soccer came from, but
it's good.
That's what you guys do. That's what most of the world does. I know.
Right.
I know.
Enjoy life.
Enjoy
you only
life.
get one life. Enjoy it.
Right. We only have one life. Enjoy it. That's the best advice anyone can give any of us. To leave that stress behind you. You got tomorrow to worry about it. Enjoy the moment, I was saying. Seize the day, carpe diem. I know. Everyone, you're in the office with Joseph Skoda. Please subscribe to our channel. Look us up. Look for the different people that we bring on board and interview and interact and get to know their story. If you have a story you want to share with the rest of us, look up Steve over here, or look up me, because we'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, look me up. Yes, I'm a nice chap.
Thank you so much for joining us, Steve. Yeah. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.